Alright, then hello and welcome back to another episode of TENSHI. We almost made the escape. We went into a naked bunny, the girl on the right, in the last episode, and now it's time to find out what they plan, and they want to show us something in the future. So I would say we just continue and don't waste too much time. Finally, we arrived at the elevator, Bunny not far behind and in her usual outfit. Well, that was quick. Impressed? Get back to me once you're done flashing people. The elevator dinged and swung open. Mizuki guided me inside. Although this was my original goal, getting here with Bunny and Mizuki by my side was not very reassuring. Further and further up, the elevator climbed as both Bunny and Mizuki remained in complete silence. I dared not to break it. Finally, another ding, and the elevator came to a close. The door swung open slowly, and the two girls led me forward. What I saw was not what I had expected. It looked like the exact same place the lab was built in. The large field near the middle of nowhere. A small city not far away, but that city has been demolished, crushed, dilapidated. It didn't look like repairs had been done for centuries, left alone 50 years. And the field, it was yellowed, dry water starved. But most of all, the lab was exited. This is... You pieced it together then? Yes, Kenji. A few years back, Bunny and I were on a journey through this wasteland. We were searching for something we thought was only a myth. A time window, or as we called it before, obviously a time machine. The world has been stricken by famine, disease, riddled with disasters for the past 10 years and counting. There seems to be nothing that can be done to keep it from happening. But when Mizuki and I found the time machine, we had hope. Unfortunately, it had been dismantled beyond repair, and obviously neither Bunny nor I knew how to fix it. While we'd studied hard in engineering, the repairs were way beyond what we could comprehend. So we did the only thing that the machine could do: send out a distress beacon. It was the last remaining function, and we could only send one. And we got a response, instructions, a complete line of them. We weren't sure where from, but we followed them to the letter, and eventually we were able to power the time window once more. You see, Kenji, we aren't trying to alter time for our own selfish purposes. We're doing it to have a chance for everyone here and everywhere else to have a second chance, to realize their mistakes and start over. That's our true goal, other than eradicating any diseases that come our way. That was another goal we had, due to the fact that many diseases mutate into much bigger monsters down the line. And they only added fuel to the fire for what you see now. I was silent. I couldn't believe half the things these girls were telling me. Was this an apocalypse or the early signs of one? I couldn't tell, but I could feel myself shaking, and I knew my captors could see me shuffling in place as well. They frowned. I told you it would be too much for him. Let's get him back into the lab. I don't think we need to worry about him trying to escape anymore. now that he knows where he is and there isn't anything to escape. They took me by the arms and slowly dragged me back into the elevator. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. All the wind had been taken out of me. This was truly what the future held? A desolate wasteland broken by disease and famine? If that's what Mizuki and Bunny were trying to prevent, then who were my true allies? Slowly the elevator made its way back down to the lab area. Bunny and Mizuki led me to a room. One I assumed they wanted me for now to rest. I laid down, my head still spinning, swimming in the information that it has just been fed to me. But it still left a number of questions. Who sent through that message which let the girls fix the time window? What is Project Paradox? I mean, obviously it involved creating a paradox, but how did that involve me? That was my biggest question. How did I fit into saving the entire world from falling apart? I wasn't a hero. I was some young kid who just lost his family and got involved in some of the strangest series of events that could ever happen to anyone. I tossed and turned, my eyes flitting open and shut, eventually passing out into a restless sleep. So he knows now. He knows more than he did before, but not everything. I see. Do you think this will make him more willing to go through with the plan? As of yet, we can't tell, but we hope this is the case. Okay, we're almost done with our preparations. Tomorrow will be the day when the last piece falls into place. Be ready, girls. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Crackle fate. Man, I do not feel about letting Kenji see the outside world. It was an unfortunate but necessary circumstance. This future isn't even within his lifespan. Why did we need to rope him into it as well? Fate works in mysterious ways, Bunny. Oh, don't give me more of your philosophical fate nonsense, Mizuki. Don't tell me you're filling Kenji's head with it too. Believe what you will, Bunny, and I'll do the same. Right, well, when all of this is said and done, let's hope for both of our sakes that this fate of yours is actually on our side this time. Rose, you up? I barely slept. That worried, huh? Look, Rose, I'm worried about him too, but we need to be in the best shape we can be if we want to save him. I know, Kiyu, I know, it's just... Rose, I know you really care about Kenji, despite how little time he's been here. He's a good guy, and... What are you trying to say? I'm saying that I actually don't know, really. I'm just trying to give one of those motivational speeches like they give in the movies. Is it helping at all? A little, I guess. Ooh, good. Alright, you two. I think I have the beacon up and running. If my calculations are correct, then we'll be able to flush them out of hiding. One question, Michelle. Why would they even want to go through their time window at a time like this? Well, I've mirrored the beacon to look like something their commander would create rather than some random distress beacon. They likely think it's another business trip with no information. And you really think that will work? I have no guarantees, but it's a stiff hope, that's for sure. Now come on, it's time to go through the time window. Get suited up and let's get going. Alright, ready? As ready as I'll ever be, I suppose. Don't be like that, Rose. You're going in there to save Kenji. Remember, you just have to go through where they come in. I'll give the signal and you keep an eye out for an opening in the time window, okay? Hey, I still remember the first trip we took through the time window. We were both shocked by what was happening. Yeah, no kidding, we didn't know what the effects of estrogen would be like at all. And then, I'm still not used to it. This always feels so weird and tingly. Just write it out, Q. Oh, it feels weird, but I'll be okay, nah? What the fuck? Oh, did they ever get that big before? I don't think so. And so that you can enjoy it without the text, then here is your moment of pause where you can look at it, study it, and do whatever you want. Okay, time to continue. The sound of stretching fabric rang through the silent chamber. Rose clutched her body as her chest filled out, her plating creaking as she grew. Why does it feel so much stronger this time? Q could feel her body ballooning outwards her bra, dragging forward as her bust expanded. Her hips flared out, widening and accentuating her hourglass figure. This is strange. We might be going particular far in time or something. Oof. Rose clutched her stomach as her body surged further bigger, larger than she had ever been in previous trips. She began to worry. Okay, Michelle, you can bring us to our destination now. Q was sweating, watching as her bust ballooned forward and out, growing past its usual huge size as well. Something is wrong, Rose. What's going to happen to... Just as they said it, the world finally rematerialized itself. The two girls falling flat on their faces, dragged down by the unusual weight of their bodies. They both looked up and were horrified to see the figures of Bunny and Mizuki staring them down with grins on their faces out in the open field that seemed to go on for miles. You two really are as naive as you look, aren't they, Mizuki? Now it's not the time for idle chatter. Bind them up and get them through the time window. What? Hey. Rose fought back as Mizuki attempted to tie her hands back, but to little avail. Her body still felt like a ton of bricks for some reason. The trip through the time window had taken a toll on her body, one she wasn't too keen to. Cut it out. Q, on the other hand, was able to push through the feeling and pull out of her whip, fending off Bunny as hard as she could. She whipped something around her arm and Bunny pulled Kyu toward her in an embrace. My, how big you gotten. I like how squishy they are, my dear. Ooh, let go of me. Kyu could feel her captor's legs entwining themselves around her as she struggled in Bunny's grip. She tried to release her whip for yet another strike, but the strength wouldn't come to her. She was trapped. Oh no, you don't. Finally, coming to her senses, Rose lifted herself up, tossing back Mizuki and brandishing her blade. Pointing at her with a bold stance, she glared over at her opponent, who unsheathed her own katana. Just want to check on something. Nope, cannot see anything. Are you sure you want to do this? You are in no condition to fight. Remember not to strike her down, Mizuki. We need them to remain in the window if we want the plan to go well. What plan? What are you doing with us? What are you doing with Kanji? She shouted these words as she lunged at Mizuki. To little effect, however, as she docile... What is this? Docile as the docile Konuichi dodged to the side, slicing her blade upwards and forcing Rose's sword from her hands. Rose merely flew by with a gasp, the world feeling as if it were going in slow motion, when suddenly Mizuki struck her hand in the gut, taking all the wind out of her. Rose collapsed into her arms and Mizuki lifted her with ease. That's one down. Right then. Using her long legs, Bunny swiftly clocked Kyu onto the head. The shorter girl couldn't fight back, and a sudden bout of unconsciousness that befell her. Well, that was easier than I thought it would be. Honestly, I thought they were going to put up more of a fight than that. Then jump through guaranteed a weakening of their bodies. The particular time period that they visited, combined with the setting of the time window jump, caused the estrogen to work double time. Hence, these giant monsters. She took the chance to poke one of Kyu's boobs as she has held her onto her, watching them dangle back and forth in response to her actions. Correct. Now let's hurry back through the time window. Right. Okay, so and what will happen next, you will see in the next episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I mean, now they are all with Crontex, so what the fuck can happen now? Is this going to be a gangbang? Is this going to be an orgy? Is this going to be I don't know. So if you want to see more, tune in tomorrow, and if you liked it, just leave a thumbs up or a commentary to give some feedback, and then see you tomorrow. Your pacemaker.
Yeah.